My back just cracked. Hello, internet music fans. I don't know, that was a weird intro. Hello, the internet. Vinyl mail time.
Hey, I'm Annie, and this is Why You Should Love Music.
Hello, internet friends. It is time for some more vinyl mail. You should be very excited about this. I am very excited about this. I promise this is vinyl, despite its, large shape. It's vinyl. Trust me. Let's unbox it. There might even be 2 boxes to unbox. I don't even know. Just so much tape. It's very good. Very safely packaged. I just want to, yeah, okay. Ooh, so many. Ooh, that's why the box is so large. They sent me eggs. Just kidding, they're not eggs. So, this is from FYE. Sweet. For your entertainment. My immediate thoughts was like, oh, cool, I'm going to take it to the library to get books. And then I was like, wait, this is a music channel. I could take it record shopping, but then I'm like, no, this is like a library. It's for my entertainment. So I could do what I want. It's going to be a library bag. I'm very excited about that. Next, we have eggs. Just kidding. They're keeping stuff safe. Love it. Now, the next time I go out to collect eggs, I have a good place to keep them. I jest. Here's what we came for. So much bubble wrap. My baby sister is going to be so happy. Okay. So this is an FYE exclusive pressing of... I showed you the back first. Good Charlotte! I'm super stoked. I am very excited. Generation RX, Generation Prescription. I was saying in my head Generation Prescription, but how are we saying this? Are we trying to spell it out? I don't know. Ooh, do love. Look at that. Oh, wait. I'm going to take off the... I was like, look, and then it was all just a glare. I'm going to take off the plastic so you can see. Good Charlotte Generation Prescription, featuring actual pain and shadow boxer, exclusive blue color vinyl, limited to 750 units. I did not know that. That's very exciting. I mean, I knew it was a FYE exclusive. I did not know that it was limited to 750. Oh, it's a gatefold. Who knew? Okay, wait. Whoa, it's textured. They do not play. That is so cool. The album title, bumps out. That's amazing. The back is incredible, too. This is the first I've seen the rear-facing design. How do you say this? It has this snake. I don't know if my camera's good enough to pick it up, but it has this snake that's cut apart into different pieces. Like the United We Stand, Don't Tread on Me, America, Generation Prescription. It's cool. Just trust me. Sweet. Okay, gatefold. What's inside? Who knows? Not me. Cool! Life was okay, raise your hand if you just, that's amazing. I would 100% hang that on my wall. Okay, sweet. We got credits. Obviously, Good Charlotte guys. Then it has production engineering, assistant engineering. Oh, wow, mixing. This is, very in-depth. I love this so much. Where the drums were tracked from different songs, strings. Yes! All songs written by Benji Madden, Joel Madden, Zach Cervini, except track 8 written by Joel Madden, Benji Madden, Dan Lancaster, and track 9 written by Joel Madden, Benji Madden, Zach Cervini, and Matthew Pauling. Nice. Thank you. We started this album in 1996. Oh, that's adorable. I'm going to get the feels. The world seemed a lot more simple back then. Cell phones were the size of a shoe. Amen. Can you imagine? Okay, sorry. Cell phones were the size of a shoe. You really only saw them in movies or plugged into one of your rich friend's parents' car, and they were only for emergencies. Computers were really only at school or in libraries. If we wanted... Wait a second. Y'all didn't have computers in 96? Because I definitely had a computer in my house in 96. Is it because my dad was military? Real questions. He had a tablet, before tablet... Okay, never mind. If we wanted to get kids to our shows on the weekend, we drew up flyers and passed them out in the parking lot. We would save our money and make the trip to the local record store when we could search for new bands' records. We'd spend hours and hours reading the lyrics and album art. Yes, same, amen. That's what I was doing in 96 also. Searching the liner notes to see who the band think and maybe find our next favorite new band. This is just adorably meta. So much has changed in the world for the new generation, Generation Prescription. The way we share information and communicate, the way we experience music and art, but some things never change. To love and be loved, the need to belong, the confusion of growing up, the painful experience it is to be human. Music has and always will be the #1 way to relate our feelings. Love and sadness, excitement and rebellion, discontent and angst, joy and pain. This record is a journey back to the honesty and vulnerability that our band has always needed to share with the world around us. Our simple wish to inspire perseverance, individuality, hope, and the courage to dream a dream of your own. To whoever is listening, we'd like to thank each one of you who have supported us through the last 2 decades. They spelled through THRU, just so you know, they're keeping it real. Through the last 2 decades, you've helped us out of poverty and hopelessness, made us feel celebrated and important. To our wives and kids, our friends and family, thank you for helping us write the future so much differently than the past. To each person listening, never give up, never give in, and no matter how many times you get hit, always get back up and fight. One more time. No matter who you are or who you want to be, trust your own greatness and always be yourself. See you at the show. What? That's the most thoughtful note. I never read the whole thing, but I just wanted... That was important. I love that so much. And then each of the guys have an individual note as well. Ah, yes, lyrics. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Awesome sleeve. Really thick, actually. Really, really high quality. It's like a really thick cardstock or a really thin cardboard, so it's definitely going to give you the protection. And lyrics. I love it when they have lyrics on the sleeve. Lyric sheets or lyrics on the sleeve is my favorite. This is actually the first time seeing them too, because as of right now, I've only heard 33.3% of the album. So I'm like super stoked to get on this. Okay, here's what we're waiting for. It's gorgeous. This is so beautiful. It's so much deeper and richer than I had envisioned. Not that I had like envisioned it extensively. This is very cool. Then you got the prescription RX in the middle. It's so like deep. The blue has such a depth. Wow. I like it too. Oh, sorry. Here's side A. I should start side A first. I just didn't. It's like so. I'm just kind of mesmerized by it. The cutting is like so good, and there's like this slight kind of texture to it where you can tell it was just pressed really well. Obviously, I'm gonna have to listen to it to know for sure, but like this feels amazing, and the edges are all smooth. It's not gonna cut you or anything if you. I'm excited. I was already excited about this album, but like, y'all, I'm excited. Okay. This is the part of the video where I usually tell you like a song as a good introduction. I've only heard 3 of them. Probably same as you. If you're like an old school Good Charlotte fan, like for me, I probably found them like 2000. Well, in 2001, I moved to California, and that's really when I started getting into like the alternative rock type of maybe emo punk stuff. Not really, but I don't consider them emo or punk, but that's neither here nor there. But if you're like an old school type fan, I feel like you should listen to Shadowboxing of the 3. Although Actual Pain was the first single, and that was also a really good introduction. But then also Prayer. Is it just called Prayer, or does it have a longer name? Yeah, Prayers. Man, that one got me. That one's like... If you're a Good Charlotte fan from like the older days, I feel like you will love this album. That being said, I have not listened to this whole album. So I kind of don't want to talk about it too much more before I get this on the table. I just want to go listen to it. And then I'll do like a wrap up, like final thoughts. Okay, wow. I was not expecting that. I actually got quite emotional. I love this album. If you're a fan of old Good Charlotte, if you're a fan of 21 Pilots, if you're a fan of like really well written music, I highly recommend this album. There was not a single track that I didn't like. I think a couple tracks were uncomfortable for me just because I'm uncomfortable having feelings and emotions as a human person. But this is such a great album. Now that I've heard the whole thing, I love every track. I might recommend Self-Help as a good intro track. Although the first track, which is actually set up to be an intro track, the title track, it immediately just took my breath away. It's so hauntingly gorgeous, and it just immediately pulls you in. So maybe that's the best introduction track. If you don't have time to listen to the whole album though, which I would really recommend, I think the second track really jumps in and gives you a great idea of what you can expect from the album before you make a committed decision to listen to the whole thing. Honestly, my very first thought when I was listening to the album was like, wow, I want to give this to every teenager I know. And then I thought, well, I don't know, maybe parents wouldn't like that. That's just so sad to me, because I think kids need this. They need to be allowed to struggle. And I think there are maybe 2 tracks, like Leeches and Better Demons do get a little bit darker, but like, these kids are dealing with dark things, and if we just like censor their ability to process emotion, that's just going to mess them up on a whole other level. That was like a different tangent that had nothing to do with anything. You do not come here for parenting advice. Wow. This is amazing. I just want to my second thing that I wanted to do was just find everyone that I went to school with in California and be like, have you heard this record? Because it's really good. Anyway, those are my quick thoughts on this album. Man, I really fell in love with it quick. I wasn't expecting to become so attached to so many songs. I think I love every track certainly differently. There are some that give me kind of different vibes and different different emotions, different feelings, different, like some, like I was like, dang, Dean, like the drums on this are amazing. So many tracks have such great guitar parts. I was just thinking, wow, I want to play this. But overall, wow, I'm actually quite surprised. I was expecting to like this album, but I really, really, really love it. Also, I forgot to say when I was listening, this pressing is immaculate. It's like a very, very excellent, perfect sound quality, I would say. So I'm really, really happy and impressed with this pressing. I would highly recommend it if you would like it. The blue pressing, FYE. There are people. By the time I post this video, it's available. It's out today, so highly recommend. And for you people who are maybe not vinyl fans, I wholeheartedly recommend this album to you. Anybody who's hurting, it will help you. And anyone who's happy and not hurting, it will help you understand, I think. And it will challenge you. Some of the songs I think were challenging, even though I understood the perspective they were coming from. I think if you're in a really happy place, which I think I am, they kind of challenge you a little bit, which I think is really good and really healthy and very appropriate. Let me know in the comments. Have you heard this album yet? What do you think about it? Talk to me about it. What is your favorite song? I would be so curious to know that, because I feel like that's very telling on this album. There are some albums where your favorite song probably is just very telling. Oh, what have I exposed about myself? My favorite track is probably immediately Self-Help, but I feel like this is an album where certain songs will grow on me. And I like certain tracks tremendously for different reasons. I had already heard Prayers before, but I'm not gonna lie, like, that one got to me today. Maybe I'll just put this at the end of the video, and if you guys don't want like a emo story, then just goodbye, have a good day. I'm a little bit more emotional than I normally am while I'm filming that. Today is September 12th, and that's always historically been a hard day for me, so I feel more. But the track Prayers meant more to me today when I was listening to it on this record, because there was one time in my life when I did get to hear the words of other people's prayers. And it was after a big disaster. I was living in Washington, D.C., and my dad was working at the Pentagon during 9/11. And my school was on a military base, so I spent that day in a bomb shelter, not knowing what was going on, with armed guards and little kids. And then sometime after dark, you're just cramped in a tiny space, no lunch, no dinner. No talking, no bathroom breaks. They would call names over the PA, and when they called your name, armed guards would come and get you and take you out of the bomb shelter, and we didn't know what was happening. But as hard as that day was, I think no one understands, except for the people who do. I think most people don't understand how much more difficult the next day was. I went to school the next day. My dad was supposed to be at the Pentagon, but he ended up not going that day, so he was fine. My mom was fine. My friends were not. I went to school the next day. I remember my mom waking me up saying, "Time to get ready for school." And I just kind of looked at her, and I was just shocked. I was honestly shocked that the world was like still going on, and she expected me to get up and behave like a human. And I was just like, "What are you talking about? I'm not going to school today." And she was like, "Yes, you are." And I said, "Why? Why would you expect me to do that?" And she said, "If we don't keep living our lives, then they win." So I went to school, and the only other people at school were the people who never got to go home because their parents were missing. They didn't know if they were dead or alive, and we spent the day writing thank you notes to the firefighters who were digging out their parents' bodies so they would know if they were alive or not. That was the only time. The following months after 9/11 was the only time that we prayed in school. But we prayed together a lot, and that was the first time I had ever considered hearing other people's prayers, hearing their most private words and their most private pains, and it was just thrust in front of all of us. We all did that together. So that I know that that's not what the track is meant to be, but it hit me really hard today. I know it's been 17 years, but it comes back. Anyway, I really appreciate this album. Also, what new music are you listening to? Give me your recommendations. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your history with Good Charlotte. And have the most fantastic day ever. And I will see you here next Friday. Goodbye. Unless you don't want to come back, that's fine too. Maybe I scared you off with my emotions. I promise it doesn't happen often. It's like once a year. Maybe twice a year. Trip to the local. Shush, I'm talking about Good Charlotte.